Welcome to the Lifeline, a production of Simply BJE. The goal of this podcast is to build, inspire, and to empower our listeners through conversations on business, leadership, and mental health. We invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and at www.simplybje.com/The Lifeline. Now, let's tune in for today's episode.
What's up, Lifeline family? This is your co-host, Bo Powell here. And we've been excited getting all the feedback from you about how you're enjoying the podcast. But I got to tell you, often after the official recording stopped, the mics were still hot, the cameras kept rolling, and we've had some of the best conversations. So I'm here to introduce a new segment called the Lifeline AfterParty, where you guys get to come backstage and listen in to some conversations that are totally unscripted, but slightly edited for quality control purposes. And I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. Y'all listen in.
Like people feel like physically tired and like mentally tired, and just stopping and pausing and just pouring into them, not just via a church sermon, but just holding space.
Right.
Just holding space and saying, we just want to stop and see you. We don't want to clump you with education. We just want to stop and see you and empower you and encourage you. Like a whole podcast full of like affirmation and encouragement and yeah. Even maybe reading stories from people that may write into us and kind of want to share some things, and maybe we can respond to what the listeners want to hear. Maybe a nice thing if that hasn't been done before. Of course, not like the Steve Harvey Morning Show or anything, but
The Scarlet Letter.
Lifeline letter.
But Strawberry Letter, I think, is what Strawberry Letter.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
yeah. But it could be something like that, to where viewers have an opportunity to write in for a segment, and we just kind of affirm them in that way. So
Yeah, I think that's really important because I for a lot of people, sometimes they just need somebody to listen. I think you mentioned that, you alluded to that, how a lot of our youth just feel like people are too busy. I feel like a lot of our adults are that way. And because we're so busy in the hustle and bustle, we kind of miss on some of those cues. And we don't realize somebody was going through something until, something dangerous, or they've either killed themselves or, they've tried to harm themselves. So I think it's just really important, like you said, to hold space for, people just to be heard and not judged or anything like that. Sometimes that's enough,
That's enough.
I think so too. And of course, not to turn it into like a therapy session, but if they were to write into us, we may identify trends that are not even seen. We think that we know what's going on, but we probably don't even know like what they're really going through. And so we need to talk about what they're really going through.
Right.
Like, we do the general ones all the time, but what are you going through?
Right.
So that we can really know how to frame conversations for future podcasts, because what we know is what we know, but there are a lot of unknown things, those that we can share online. But so just a fresh way to kind of move into y'all's next quarter, hearing from the people and what they want to share with the host.
That's
good. That's
good.
good.
I
appreciate
mentioned,
it. Oh, no, go
Barry,
ahead.
Bo,
Go
you
ahead.
mentioned that about listening, and I just thought about that because in the gym the other day, a friend of mine, we always speak, what's up, and then he just sat down on the bench, and he was like, man, I'm tired. And then he just went on to just tell me what he's been doing like the last month, teaching classes. And then at the end, he said, man, I'm just venting. I don't want anything. I said, man, it's fine, it's cool. It was about a 10-minute conversation. And in the morning, we normally don't have that. We have what's up, adapt, and keep moving. But like you said, some people just need to talk. And then, Bo, I think as humans, we just need to listen.
Absolutely.
We need to take the time and just really listen to the person, or, ask those couple questions to pull it out. Because some men don't, especially men. I have a friend, his mom died in October, and his wife has been in the hospital since February on a ventilator, and now she's in a nursing home. She had pneumonia. She had a cold turned into pneumonia. So he's a strong guy. He's like this. I'm good. And I'm trying to get through to him, it's a hard fight without him. You know, he expresses how he's feeling, but I can tell certain mornings he come to the gym, he's just like not there.
Yeah. It's tough, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
people are going through it. And I remember I meant to bring this up during our recording, but when you talk about people not being motivated to do things, and we had one therapist on before. He talked about how, you know, a lot of people just quit taking care of themselves. Their hygiene, they wouldn't even taking showers. That's kind of an indicator, you know, of things like that. So, you know, you just never know what people are going through, you know, until you
You
take
never
some time to
know.
listen. You know, it's
And
just
all
wild.
it takes is 10 minutes. It
That's it.
takes 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Like talking about meaning matters.
Yeah.
Like just it's not just like just the routine things that we feel obligated to do.
Yeah.
Like whenever you invite meaning into the conversation, that compels people to want to show up for themselves because it meant something for him to stop and say, I see you.
Mhm.
And so, because I know that I'm not walking through this alone, and somebody saw that I was worth you seeing me, I'm going to get up every day and I'm going to make an effort because you were the only one that saw me.
Wow.
And, and now I can achieve my goals and clean up my house and, you know, make that phone call, make that doctor's appointment, doing all those things. Like it mattered. Meaning matters.
Yeah.
It's the difference between a regular and a deluxe. Like, give folks the deluxe meal.
Yeah.
You know, they deserve the cheese. Put the cheese on that thing for them. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Upsize that for
Biggie
them.
size me.
Right. No ice. Fill the
Yeah.
cup all the way up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so just taking 10 minutes.
That's awesome.
I feel something about 10 minutes, even with the podcast, like our 10-minute break, or something just to
Okay.
stop for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this podcast, these brothers have pushed me out of my comfort zone. Because there have been a time it got me crying and stuff. I mean, that's another talk. But another guy, he lost his mom like in September, and he texted me. He's like, something as today is one of those days with mom. So I just respond, where you at? So I'm at the gym. I'm on my way. I just
Wow.
went there. He already had worked out. I just sat next to him. He kind of talked about mom, but then I let him just work through. And then by the time we walked out, he was good. You know,
That's powerful.
That matters so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a little mentee, and she put on her social media. I probably should have said this online. We're gonna have to post this after show.
Mhm.
She put, I really need a hug. And I said, where you at? So I went and got her favorite pizza, some flowers, some fruit, and a
Wow.
whole basket and a card in 30 minutes. And I was over there to that campus and I said, come outside. And that means the world of difference because you never know what they're thinking.
what
Yeah.
they think.
Yeah.
You could be the sign that they prayed to ask God for so that they
Yep.
could be here with us another day, right?
That's so true.
So show up. Yeah, we're busy, but show up. Like everything can wait. Like if it's not like a crisis, start showing up for people.
Yeah.
And I love that you did that.
Yeah.
I love that.
I truly
Yeah.
believe that for us to not be able to stop in many ways shows a lack of trust in God to provide for us.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
I can't stop to take care of the body
Wow.
because I'm trying to get something in my hand. So,
Yeah.
you know, if I
Wow.
can't sit with you because I gotta get this money. To me, that's a sign that in many ways, that we don't really fully trust God to provide for us. You know, and I'm not
Yeah.
I
saying
agree.
that's just, to me, that's just how I see it that way. So,
Bo, you know that's heavy because that not only goes into the mental health piece and just us interacting, but think about how many parents they spend so much time and so much time working
Yeah.
that they are not necessarily present for their children and they're persons of faith.
Yeah.
And does that send a message of not trusting God?
yeah,
Mhm.
I agree.
That's
I
heavy.
I totally
That's
agree.
powerful. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't believe we say it, but I don't know if we truly recognize it, that, you know, that God is our provider. that
Yeah,
he
he
gives us
is.
power to get wealth. I mean, even
Yeah.
if you go all the way back to Genesis, I mean, he showed us that he provides. Like Adam didn't have to go. I mean, God planted the garden. So
Mhm.
Adam walked into provision. So
Mhm.
it was an understanding that God is source. I am the resource. I have to steward it. But ultimately, it's God's job to make sure he provides for us. And not meaning that we don't have to work or anything like that.
Right,
But
right.
when you understand it's God, God is providing, then it, like you did for me the other day, Barry, Barry took an hour out of his day, just impromptu. I need to get some stuff off my back. And, and that to me, that's everything. I
Uh-huh.
really, really needed that. So I think, especially people of faith, it behooves us to show up for people in the ways like, Lynnsburg talked about, and even what you shared too, with that and what Lynnsburg did. What Barry did for me. So, I've just kind of learned that in my days, as I've gotten older to, that's part of trusting God is when you have those moments, which are just ministry moments to really show up for somebody, God honors that.
Yeah.
Does
Mhm.
honor that. He even mentions in Proverbs 11, I think, that safety comes from wise counsel.
Yes.
And so wise counsel doesn't necessarily have to be a therapist. It can be
Mhm.
a trusted friend and a
Yeah.
partner, because I'm hoping that they're leaning into God for that wisdom to impart into you. And you never know what can come from that ministry moment. Like
Yeah.
that is the breakthrough,
Yeah.
right? That's where the
Mhm.
breakthrough happens. And breakthroughs don't have to be you running around the church and doing backflips off the
Yeah.
the baptismal pool. It just means that you have a release. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you are relieved from whatever that is. And that's what needs to happen. Folks need relief.
Yeah.
And they need to know how to make that happen on a regular basis, because the problems are not going to stop.
Correct.
So how can we help you get that off of you?
Right.
Move forward. That's the cheat code, getting that off of you and not
Absolutely.
letting your mood run your day.
Yeah.
'Cause
Absolutely.
if we did that, the mood piece, we would be a wreck every day. Learn how to manage your moods,
Yeah.
right?
That's good.
Learn how to manage your moods. Okay, so it's happened. But what now? Are you gonna stay here? Or are you going to
Mm.
reassess? And are you going to check in with God? And are you going to move forward? Because you still got to move forward at the end of the day.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
Wow.
I don't know that
That's good.
Yeah.
after party. I'm telling you,
Well,
party. Yes.
I'm gonna share something with you. So you talking about getting something off of you, and I didn't share this with Bo the other day when we talked because it was about you. But last week, just negative thoughts about unaliving myself. Not got from it, but the thoughts came. And then um, yesterday, so this Saturday I would have been graduating with my doctorate, and so I had to stop it at the 24. And so I thought I was cool, but yesterday I started feeling some kind of way. Started feeling some kind of way about that, and some kind of way about my first Mother's Day with my grandmother, and I was just not in a good place. So I just reached out to two people I know. I just sent them a voice note. I said, "I don't need you to call me." I said, "I just need to share." And once I shared it, articulated how I was feeling, I was able to move on.
Yeah.
So just getting that release is important.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I cannot attest to that. First of all, I commend you for choosing life.
Mhm.
It's not easy. Whenever you are in your mind making arrangements for your end, I know that all too well. Who was gonna watch my dogs? Like, I need to clean up my house. I need to do all these things. And we're walking around here and we have it all together and we're smiling, but you just never know. Like, and when I shared this, I think I called a former supervisor. And I just called him and he just started singing This Little Light of Mine out of nowhere. Like, and that made me laugh, and it made me kind of check back in and to let me know that I wasn't walking through things alone. And he didn't even know that I was preparing to
Wow.
like not be here. And I was
Wow.
Wow.
so serious. And we're just gonna just fade away. I was like, no, I see what you're doing, enemy. Like, I don't
Absolutely.
want to bring this together.
Absolutely.
You kind of take a sister out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I really do commend you for being here. And you have to do that repeatedly, because it's not to say
Mm-hmm.
those thoughts won't return. Those of us who kind of navigate those thoughts, but
Absolutely.
do it again. Keep doing it again,
Absolutely.
doing it again. So
But this is what I said to Bo Saturday, and this is just something it was a word of wisdom just came to me, is that there is an attack on hope dealers. So people who are called to give hope or to deal hope, it is an attack to make them feel hopeless.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm telling you, like my life is over. Like for me, like you're almost, this is no offense, you're almost 50, and it's like,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and so like
Yeah.
what have you done to show in your life? And God was like, all this stuff that I have given you to do, all of these things that you already do, and you have the audacity to say, what have you done with your life?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You can't forget what happened in 2012 when the young girl wanted the X, Y, and Z. Don't forget what happened in 1993 whenever you was in high school. You don't forget what happened. Like those things still matter.
Yeah.
What are
That's
you
so true.
what are you chasing that I have not already done for you right now?
Mhm.
What do you want? Because it's starting to give like you're wanting to be glorified. And that's dangerous,
Wow.
right? So let me humble you a little bit and let you know that you can't do this without me.
Can't.
Because you
Wow.
trying to do it in your own strength is not going to get you anywhere. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So that's why I'm like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. You know what I mean? I get it. So it just keeps us in step with God. Like we have a new mercy every day. We're alive. We have been blessed to wake up every day. So what are we gonna do with our day?
Mhm.
God didn't have to wake us up. He chose to wake us up. And sometimes we wake up with a sense of entitlement, like I'm supposed to be alive. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Wow.
Like I gotta go. You don't have to do anything. You could be broke. You could be without a job. You could be struggling. You could be sick. You could be all these things. You're able-bodied in your right mind. You have a roof over your head and food options in your refrigerator. And we have the audacity to be like, oh, like absolutely not.
Yeah.
So we have to get it together, and we have to fight back, because the sword, what's in the word of God, we have to use our sword against these. It is spiritual, right?
Yes.
Not AI, it's the sword, it's the word of God that is going to move us forward in this season. And I didn't mean to do no exegesis. What you teach me, Elder Barry? It's
Preach
just
it. You preach it.
Well,
Well,
see, well,
she's a
uh,
licensed minister. She's a licensed minister.
yeah, right. Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah,
that's just what comes to mind. So we have to take our power back, and we have to be in community with each other. It's just
Community. Yeah.
so
mhm.
important.
That's so
Well,
important.
I mean, I totally agree with you. I mean, we don't talk about, I believe it's in Galatians, bearing one another's burdens.
Mhm.
Community.
It's
Yeah.
about that community. You know what
It's
I'm
about
saying? So,
community. Yes, and
yeah,
then in First Thessalonians,
mhm,
the scriptures encourage us to build each other up, just as
that's
we
right.
Right.
might be in chapter
Right.
5.
Right.
So we are commanded to do those
Uh,
things.
Yeah.
Just as
right.
we are doing, we're in step with the word of God.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I agree. Yeah,
And
I
as
had
we
I always
do,
think about the guy at the pool. You know, there was a whole bunch of religious folks that was passing by that guy, and nobody stopped to help. I've always saw that in
Mm.
that story.
Mm.
That when the Bible talks about bearing one another's burdens, all those people would walk by. So he had a legitimate gripe. I mean, I said, nobody's tried to help me. You know what I
mhm,
mean? Nobody's
mhm,
taking the time out, like we talked about, to just show up for me.
yeah.
And so I saw that in those, when I used to teach that in the school of ministry, I would say that's a dynamic in that way as believers. When you're sitting by, obviously those are people of faith, because they were going to that same pool to get healed, so they understood that. But some of them were
Wow.
Mhm.
able-bodied that could have, hey, can I help you along that journey? And so I think we
That's
miss
good.
those opportunities that God would use us to minister to someone, just like you're saying, just to show up for somebody, 10 minutes,
Just
15 minutes, and whatever the case may be.
doing it. Whatever the case may be. I
Yeah.
think about the South African man that
Mhm.
walked with Christ
Mhm.
when he was carrying the cross. And
Yeah.
to be
Mm-hmm.
and to be that close,
Yeah.
how could we not think that Christ would not want someone to walk alongside? And it
Right.
took that
Wow.
man. It
Yeah.
took that man to say that I am going to walk with you this closely. We're not
Right.
supposed to do life alone.
That's correct.
We're
They
not.
could have left him to carry that cross on his own because
Mhm.
he was gonna, be gone anyway, but he chose to co-labor with
Yeah.
Christ. So who are we not to co-labor with our brothers and sisters in Christ?
Mhm.
I just
Yeah.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
replace the first show with the after party. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, we talked about this too. That's why Barry's recording. So, we're going to be,
Yeah.
some of our best conversations always come after the podcast.
Yeah.
That
You
was
know?
Yeah.
good.
We remix. Yeah, because this is
Yeah.
it. So
This was good.
be
Yeah.
encouraged, everybody. Be encouraged.
We are
Be
encouraged. We
encouraged.
thank you for bringing some life here.
Of
Yes.
course,
Yeah.
of course.
Some life
Yeah,
to
I have
the
a little bit.
to
I have a little
Lifeline.
bit more flexibility in my
Mm.
schedule now that my proposal was done, so I'm not so burdened with that part. So
Yeah.
my time is freed up a little bit more. But this has definitely been a fun space, and I'm excited. I always say I'm excited to come back. But anytime y'all need me, even if it's just for, you know, just the vibe on the show, I can be, I've been co-host and put some spice. I know for the brothers.
But here's the deal. Though. But here's the deal. No, but here's the deal. We're male hosts, right? But our audience is broad,
Yeah.
and so
Very broad.
our
But hold
audience
on,
is
it
broad.
could be a woman takeover one day where we take over the Lifeline, and then we invite y'all as the guests, and then we
Okay.
introduce y'all. You know what I'm saying?
That might not. That's a pretty good idea right there.
That is.
That's
Okay.
Yep.
That's a pretty good idea. Hmm.
We got some questions for the Lifeline.
Okay.
Oh boy.
We got to put that to work. I like the sound of that.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh
That would be a
God.
fun summer edition. Me and Reverend what's her
Chania?
name?
Chania?
Yes. Yeah, that would be really dope.
Hey, Barry, that may be a good final episode for this
For sure.
for this season.
For sure.
Mhm.
And
For
it's a
sure.
good way to introduce
Steve.
our district. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good idea. All right.
Wonderful.
All right, Dr. Parsons.
To take over.
All right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
We'll make it happen.
that's a good season finale right there, bro.
It
Wonderful.
is.
I'm the main host because I have guests.
Okay. We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We appreciate that.
Wonderful.
Thank you again so much. This has been
Thank
great,
you
honestly.
for insight. It's been a blessing.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to today's episode with host, business expert, and life coach Bo Powell, social media influencer and entrepreneur Lindsberg Petway, and leadership coach and mental health advocate Barry J. Elliott. Join us next week for another impactful conversation on the Lifeline. God bless.